Okay, good morning everybody. It's lovely to see you. Thank you as always for making time in your busy lives to come and join me at 10 o'clock on a Friday morning. There's just something really nice about doing a class in the morning and just starting the day like this. So thank you for being here, and we're going to do quite a gentle class. We were a bit more energetic last Friday, for those of you here. I think everybody was. So we're going to do some really nice spine work. It's called the spinal release sequence. Lots of the moves you'll know really well, and then we're going to do a lovely restorative pose and a deep relaxation today. So if we're not going to do energetic warm-ups, we're going to keep it quite gentle, keeping the focus on the breath and just in the body, and particularly within the spine as we go. So if you'd like to start by having your feet about hip distance apart and just bringing yourself into a nice mountain posture. At any time, if you need to, you can sit on a chair and do quite a lot of this movement on a chair. So just take a moment. I know you all know mountain posture really well. So make sure you have got that nice alignment between the hips and the feet, because what that does is it just balances the weight nicely between both feet and then up through the legs, the knees, the ankles. And then keep your knees soft. Take a moment and just bend your knees and keep your pelvis in neutral. So just, you'll feel as you bend your knees, you'll feel that engagement of your core and that lovely neutral pelvis as you go down. That's it. And you should feel your abdominals just gently working as you go down. It's very subtle, but it's kind of the level of engagement that we want to maintain through the movements to protect the back. We'll just do one more. And then coming up, keeping that engagement going. And then breathe in and lengthen out through the whole of the spine. So see if you can use your breath to be aware of the spine. As you breathe in, imagine breathing right up to the base of your skull. And then breathe out and soften the body down. And we'll just do a couple more of those. So breathe in. You'll feel your upper body just lifting out of the pelvis. Maybe a bit of an expansion into the rib cage. And then breathe out and just soften the body and feel that connection through your feet. And then we'll just be aware of the shoulders for a minute and give them a little circle. And see if you can really feel a sense of openness into the front of the body. Relax through the wrists and the shoulders. And just keeping that subtle contraction in the abdominals. So we've got the most beautiful upright vertical spine. We're allowing that lovely flow of energy through the body. And then finally, just being aware of your neck. So normally, it depends, everybody's different, but you may just find a little tuck of the chin just lengthens your spine a little. It's only a tiny movement. And then we're just going to breathe and stand like this just for a moment or two, and just allow the busyness or not of your morning so far just to settle. Just arriving on the mat and see if we can really make that connection with the breath, with the awareness in your body. And you might like to visualize as you breathe in that you've got the most beautiful fine golden thread attached to the crown of your head. And each time you breathe in, it just gently lifts and extends your body. So I'm just kind of trying to visualize that. And you just feel the whole body standing very tall. And then as you breathe out, imagine that thread just loosening any sense of hold, and your body softens. We're just going to do that a few times. So just use your own breath rhythm just to connect to your body breathing. Breathing in, lifting and extending the body. Breathing out and softening. This beautiful, fine, golden thread lifting from the crown of the head. Feel your spine lengthen and soften, creating a sense of spaciousness into the body, into the spinal column, that amazing architecture, housing the whole of your nervous system, coming down from your brain. I'll just do 2 more. And then bringing your breath back to normal. Take your focus into your fingertips. Molly keeps doing little groans, so if you do hear any strange sounds, that's just because Molly's making noises. It's not me or my tummy. So we're just going to gently tap the crown of the head with the fingertips. So really feel into the crown of the head. Feeling the different sensations when you tap into different parts of your skull. Maybe taking that into the forehead a little bit, from the top of the head to the back, behind the ears, into the temples, very gentle. Just tuning your senses into the sounds and the feelings. There might be certain parts of your head that feel a little bit more sensitive and delicate than other parts. And then very, very gently taking that to the face. Lots of little energy centers and meridians. If you've ever had acupuncture or reflexology, you'll know. And we're just gently activating and tapping into some of those. One particular delicate area there is where the skull just meets the neck. You can hold quite a lot of tension there in that place where the skull finishes. And then we'll go down into the neck, very gently into the front, into the big muscles there around the neck and the jaw. And then pausing, and we'll create a fist just with one hand and very gently work into the shoulder area. So that there's big muscles there that we can clench up and tighten up sometimes. Just gently working into that. And then taking that down, back of the arm, back of the hand, into the palm of the hand, and then up onto the inside, and then across into the chest, and then we'll swap and do the other side. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sunshine beaming into my room this morning. So just ease out. If you can feel any stiffness or tightness from the night into that area, and then taking that down the back of the arm, palm of the hand, up. And then we'll just work. I'm doing a little Tarzan impression here as we just gently work into the upper part of the chest, to the collarbone area. We've got a thymus gland here, so you might want to just use your fingertips. This can actually feel quite delicate here. We've touched this one before because I was asking you what this was, and Elaine reminded us what it was called, this little thing here. Something processed, I can't quite remember what it is now. So it's surprising how delicate it can feel just in the sternum when you just tap it with the fingers. And then we're going to just gently give the tummy a little rub. Just gently massaging, and then we'll take that movement into the back. So just working into those deep back muscles and also the kidney area, into the base of the rib cage. Feeling the vibrations and the sensations moving around your body. You might just want to work there now into the gluteal muscles and the hip area. Keeping those taps quite gentle. And then we're going to work into the front of the hip, the pelvis, and very gently, keeping your knees soft and your core engaged, see if you can work into the front of the thighs, and the side of the thighs. Then coming down as far as you can, so don't worry if you can't come all the way, or if you want to just sit on a chair and do the front of your shins, tops of your feet, and then into your Achilles and your calf muscle, side of your lower leg, gently into the backs of the knees, and then maybe a little movement into the front of the knees there. And then the back into the hamstrings if you can reach, that's a bit more difficult. And then, depending on how flexible your hips are, and then let's just stand. And again, see if we can finely tune the awareness to feel that sense of tingling. It's quite a nice feeling actually, just to activate the beautiful energy centers. And in Drew Yoga, as you know, we use something called energy block release. So just allowing all that energy just to move around the body in a nice free way helps us to feel energized and alive. Okay, so keep your feet hip distance apart. We're going to just bounce now into the heels. So if you want to, you can come up onto your toes and then go back down. If that feels too much for you and you want to keep a contact through the feet, you can do that. So we're just trying to work on that connection down through the legs. So helping us to feel really grounded through the feet and coming up if you want to. So if you want to activate the calves and the thighs more and you feel super balanced, then you can come up onto the toes. But the most important thing is that we start to use the breath, release into the shoulders and gently connect down through the floor with our feet. Breathing in and out. We're going to do a few more. You don't need to take your arms too high if you feel a bit dizzy. Hopefully, as you raise your arms, you feel your core gently working. And then we'll slow it down. And again, just pause for a moment. Feel the body warming with that movement. And we're going to bring the awareness just to the neck. So we're going to work through what's called a tri-spinal release. And it's just a series of movements that work systematically through the different parts of the spine to release it. So it says, it is what it says it is, a tri-spinal release. So we'll start with the neck. So bring your awareness to the tip of your nose. And we're just going to start with a teeny weeny little circle. And then each time you draw the circle with your nose, let's go a little bit wider. So it's really common to get stiffness in the neck. And it's really important that we don't neglect the vertebrae in the cervical part of the spine. And this is a really nice way of just keeping that mobility and flexibility into the spine up at the top there. And eventually you'll get your circles really wide, or as wide as is good for you. You can keep that quite slow, keep your jaw relaxed, use your breath, relax your shoulders, make sure you're not holding in any other part of the body, and then come back into center. Take a breath, breathe in, and as you breathe out, soften the body, relax around the mouth, the jaw and the shoulders. Keep your knees soft, and then we're going to go the other way. So sometimes we can just, without realizing it, we can just clench and tighten in the body. And I know that because I do it. So with the awareness, we just become more aware of when we do it. And then whenever we notice that we are clenching and tightening into the shoulders, the jaw, the hips, wherever, we can just connect back to the breath and soften the body. And that changes the signals then that are being sent from the body up into the mind. So working as wide as you can, and then back to center. Breathe in, and then breathe out, and soften the body, letting go. Just allow the breath to just wash over you. Just enjoy this. This is you just really giving yourself a bit of care and attention. And we're going to take the chin down towards the chest. I'll just go to the side. Just gently lengthen the back of the neck and then come up. So take it very carefully, particularly if you do have soreness in the neck. So we're going to really make that neck long, stretch it out, and then come up. We'll just do one more. Take a deep breath in and soften the body and relax. I'm going to take the right ear to the right shoulder, and then if you want to, you could just look a little bit to the left. That strengthens the stretch. And then come back and to center. And we'll take the left ear down, maybe look a little bit to the right, and then to center and relax. Take a deep breath in and soften the body as you breathe out. Okay, so we're just going to shrug the shoulders up now. So just loosen out the shoulders, breathe in and breathe out. So you could do quite a good strong audible out breath if you want. So this is letting go of the weight, letting go of anything negative, anything that you just don't want to hold on to in those shoulders. An out breath like that, a good audible out breath. It activates the Vishuddhi chakra in the throat. You might be aware sometimes that you just feel like you want to go and kind of scream a bit. It's really good for you. One more. Okay, and then take a deep breath in, lengthen the spine. And on the out breath, soften the body and relax down back through those feet. So we're going to do a movement with the arms, and we're working into the shoulder blades, particularly that space in the middle of the back, in between the shoulder blades. So we're going to bring the backs of the hands together. Just come close so you can see, and open up the shoulder blades. And then we're going to open the palms and draw the shoulder blades together. That's it. So it's a really simple movement, but we're just trying to work into the shoulder blades, keeping the shoulders nice and healthy, nice and flexible. And we can use the breath. Make sure that you're not tensing the shoulders, so you're not doing it so hard that you're like that. So we want to keep the movements today quite gentle. And we can breathe out as we curl. And you can bring a little bit of a spinal wave into this, but keep that awareness into your abdominals. So breathing in, open up, draw the shoulder blades gently together and breathing out. And then use your own breath with them, because that'll be much more effective than you following mine. Breathing out. Bring the neck in a little bit. And it's like a gentle massage into your thoracic spine and your shoulder blades. We'll do one more. Okay, and then come back to standing. Take a deep breath in, lengthen the spine. Breathe out, soften, and connect back to the feet. Okay, we're going to step forwards and backwards and just work a little bit more strongly into the shoulders. I'm going to go to the side. You know this one really well. I was going to do a different version of this, but we used to get muddled up with this when we did it in class, so I think Zoom might be just a little bit too, it might be too ambitious. So we'll stick with the simple. So anchor your right foot, move your left foot forward and backwards. You know this one really well. So breathe in and breathe out. So you can have your arms lower if you want to. And just be aware of your spine. Your core muscles are switched on. You're working into those deep shoulder muscles and particularly the shoulder blades. and coordinating the movement with the breath. Breathing in and breathing out. You don't have to bend that front knee if you don't want to. You could keep it much more gentle. We'll do one more full movement. Hopefully you can feel that really warming up the muscles around the shoulders, and then come back to center, and then we anchor the left foot and we go again. And just see if you can really allow the front of the body to open up. So being aware of your sternum, your collarbones, and just allowing yourself to gently stretch into that upper body. Opening up the lungs, breathing in, and then letting go with the out breath. We'll do one more. And coming back to center. Feet about shoulder width apart. Still going with the shoulders. Shoulders need lots of attention because it's one of the main areas that we can hold tightness, and that can cause problems with posture. So feet are shoulder width, and we're going to do our scoop. So we can go to one side, circle, and then the other side. Sometimes people find this quite hard, so just make sure what you're not doing is clenching the shoulders like this. So you want to keep the shoulders quite relaxed, because otherwise we're going to build more tension up, and it is really hard to do that when you're moving the body. But we're just trying to circle, so you're drawing a circle, first with one shoulder and then with the other. And then we're also just coming to the side, so there's a bit of a side bend going on, which is really good for the back and the kidneys and the digestive system. So there's lots of things going on. You might even feel a little bit of a stretch into the side of the hip. As you go, keep the breath steady, keep the jaw relaxed, feet nicely connected onto the floor. That's it. And then we're going to slow that down and come back to center. Take a deep breath in, breathe out, soften the body, soften the jaw, soften around the mouth into the throat. Do one more breath, breathe in, breathe out. Take the breath down to the feet and feel that connection down through your feet into your mat. Step a little bit wider. We're going to do our lovely movement with the spine, really working more deeply into the spinal muscles now, the back. So pop your hands in front of, you can clasp the hands, or you can just pretend and visualize a beautiful ball of energy or light or whatever you want. And then we start to really move the body. So see if you can have your awareness. Is the sun affecting the picture, or am I disappearing into rays of light? To me, it looks like you can hardly see me. If it gets too much more, I'll close the blind. So see if you can just be aware of your spine. So it's almost like, imagine you're a tree and it's really windy. And that top part of your body is the trunk of your tree, and your legs are the roots. So your legs don't move that much, and your body is like the trunk and the branches. So we want to get as much fluidity and movement going into that upper part of the body. But again, your pelvis stays in that nice neutral position. Your abdominals are working gently. That's it. And then you might want to challenge that a bit more and take that right over the head, having a stronger engagement into your core. I'm going to squeeze those kidneys again by bringing a twist in and taking the movement down. So we're really working with the digestive system here once we start twisting. Very gently squeezing and replenishing the blood flow there to the kidneys. And then we can take that down to the floor. You probably feel this more into the back of your body, maybe your hips and your legs. But keep that spine gently moving, swaying. And your back loves this. I know I always say it, but your back loves this. It's just a lovely, freeing, energizing movement for the whole spine. And if your spine's healthy, then your body's healthy. And we'll just slow that down. Releasing the hands. Take a deep breath in, lengthen the spine. And breathe out, soften the body again. We're going to do some circles into the pelvis first of all. So feet shoulder width apart, check that neutral pelvis, abdominals switched on, and we're just going to draw a circle. Well, it's probably not a circle, it's more like a oval, hopefully. It depends on your pelvis and your hips, what shape you're drawing. So, see if you can isolate your pelvis and your hips. So keep your core switched on, be aware of your upper body, keep that as still as you can. And let's work into the muscles around the pelvis. That's it. And we'll change direction. Going the other way, you might feel that nice stretch into the side of the body. Again, when we move like this, you've got this synovial fluid in the joints. And movement like this really helps to lubricate the joints, warm up the muscles, and just get everything moving ready for the day. And that just feels fantastic. And then we'll come back to center, and we're going to just try to draw a figure of 8 with the pelvis. Okay, so you can imagine you're drawing it sideways, so you're not drawing it in front of you, don't worry, that might be difficult. So we're going to engage the core, keep your pelvis in neutral, and then we're going to go up and up. So forward with one hip, and then forward with the other hip. Have you got it? You're all looking amazing. You've got it, that's it. So it's a bit of a different move, so do take care with your back. Sometimes for some people this can just feel a little bit pinchy. So it doesn't have to be a very big 8. We can just use it to stretch into the front of the hip there, into your iliopsoas muscles. Do one more on each side, and then come back to center. And then finally, we're just going to sway from side to side. So one side and then the other side. Keep your knees soft. Remember, keep that pelvis in neutral. It's really hard to not let your pelvis start to tilt forward and your body to come forward so your bottom sticks out. So I want to try, even if that means you don't go as far, to keep quite upright and just ease out the hips. That's it. Feels quite nice, that, doesn't it? I hope you're going to feel the benefit of these movements later today, and just notice that you feel nice and loose in the hips and the pelvis. And then we're going to pause. We're going to take a breath, breathe in, lengthen the spine, engage the core, lift through the neck. And then breathe out, soften the body and feel that connection back down through the floor with your feet. Okay, so we're going to do quite a slow and steady twist now. So feet hip, shoulder width or maybe even a little bit more. And we're going to start nice and slow. So just a tiny little move. Be aware of your shoulders and just let them go. See if you can consciously, just with your awareness, stop yourself holding in the shoulders at all. It's actually really hard to not do any kind of resistance or hold. Okay, so when you do that, the momentum of just twisting into in your hips should allow the arms to just tap on either side of your body. So it's just the momentum of your torso twisting that makes the arms go. And then from here, we'll start to soften the knees and swivel a bit on the ball of the foot. But keep that softness in the shoulders. And then if you want to, you can look behind. Keep the arms relaxed, keep the jaw relaxed. And just feel how this movement, even though we've done it so many times, just feel it release in your spine and your hip area and your pelvis. And then we'll raise the arms up. You'll have to add a little bit of tension now into the shoulders. And just give the front of the chest a lovely stretch. That's it. So don't forget to swivel on the ball of your foot so you don't hurt your knees. And then look behind you if you want to. When we look behind, we're bringing that rotation right into the top of the neck. But if that makes you feel dizzy, then just keep looking at me, please. And then we're going to slow it back down. So we've done that for quite a long time. But that's a key part of the energy block release in Drew Yoga, is one of the core principles in Drew Yoga is that the body tends to kind of get a bit blocked with its energy. And so moving the spine in these kind of ways, it really gives a beautiful sense of release. So that's what we're doing there. And then we'll again just take a deep breath in, lengthen through the spine, lift, and then breathe out, down through the feet. Okay, so we're still working about shoulder width apart. Take your toes in the same direction as your knees. And we're just going to do a little lunge. So we'll start quite gentle. So we're working into the hip area, and you'll feel it into the inner thigh, the hip adductors. That's it. So if you want it stronger, then you take your legs wider. If you want to keep it very gentle, then you don't need to be any more than shoulder width. Okay, so for you, this might be enough, and you can feel that releasing into your hips gently. But if you want to, we can add some arms. And it may be you don't have to take the arms all the way. So we're just working into the rib cage, the intercostals. So it's the side that you go in. Imagine you're drawing a straight line or a line down that whole side. So the arm you raise is the straight leg side. And you can just rest your arm on the other thigh, if that makes sense. So we've got this lovely stretch down the side of the body. And we're seeing if we can keep like we're on one plane. So we're avoiding coming forwards at all. We're just keeping nice and upright. And you can breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. We're going to do a couple more. You might want to just go a little bit deeper if you want a stronger stretch into the hip area. And one more on each side. And then we're going to come back to center. Bring the toes forward, and we're going to do a forward bend if you want to. So it may be for you, you keep your knees soft, engage your core, and you just come to here. Or if you want to and you're able to, then you could come all the way to the floor. It is a nice stretch if you're able to, either with your hands on the floor or on your hips, to just come forward now with the core engaged and just work a bit more deeply into those hips. So we're bending one leg and then the other leg with the legs wide. So hopefully you can feel that in what's called your hip adductors. You could also hold a chair or a bed or a settee if you want to, just have a bit more support. That's it. And then we're going to come back to center. And let's bring those feet together. So toe heel your feet, hip distance, re-engage your core, And then let's slowly uncurl that beautiful spine. Working vertebra by vertebra through the lumbar, thoracic, the mid-spine, up into the cervical spine in the neck. Ah, that feels good, doesn't it? Well, it does to me anyway. Give yourself a little shake. We're not quite finished yet, but we're getting there. Whew. Just shake your body out. And then we're going to come back to the hips. Well, we haven't really ever left the hips, actually. Take your weight over onto one side, grab hold of a wall or a piece of furniture if you need to. Make sure your abdominals are working, and let's see how much control we can bring into a hip circle. So we're going to imagine that we're drawing a shape with the knee, and we're going to do 3 of those. So you can hold a fireplace, you can hold a table or a chair. I wouldn't suggest holding an animal because they're very unpredictable. That's it. So work really slowly into the structures of the hip. Really feel that ball and socket joint, and then we'll change direction. Rest when you need to. See how tall you can stand. Really good for strengthening that supporting leg. Hopefully you can feel that working around the muscles in your knee, your ankle, and your other hip and the gluteal muscles. We'll do one more. And then hold, and if you want to, you can go straight from here into a leg swing, or you might just want to rest that supporting leg. I have to say, my supporting leg is speaking to me. Can I see your feet? Don't worry, you don't have to show me your feet. And, sorry, it's really good to strengthen the muscles around the joints though, because that really helps to keep the joints healthy and make us feel more balanced and strong. But we don't want to overdo it. Okay, shall we do the other side? So stand tall, stand strong. Focusing on a spot helps with balancing. So we're going to draw 3 circles one way. And bring all your awareness into that hip joint. How's it feeling? And how does it feel compared to the other one? Most people are unbalanced in their body through all sorts of different reasons. So I know that this hip is much tighter than the other one. And that's partly because, let's change direction. For me, I've got a really bad bunion on this side, and it really affects my knee and my hip. Also, sometimes we carry things on one side, or we've had an injury or something like that. So there's lots of different reasons. It may just be that that's how your body is. But sometimes it can benefit to do more work on the side where you're tighter, just to try and bring a bit more balance. So don't forget you can hold on to something if you need to. We'll do 2 more swings if you want. Oh, well done everybody. Oh, I think we might feel that, do you reckon? When you're going upstairs or something, or you're doing something over the weekend, you'll be thinking, what have I been doing? And then you'll think, oh, it's those blinking leg swings from yoga. Okay, so just give yourself a shake out if you need to. And we're going to finish with a few spinal waves. We couldn't do a spinal release without doing some spinal waves. So do take care. If you know you have any kind of arthritis in the spine, you do need to take this quite gently. I'm not aware that anybody does here particularly, but it's really good for the back. You just need to work at your own level. So we'll start with the hands in the lumbar. But if you want to, you can use your arms as well in this movement. I'm coming a bit closer so you can see me. In fact, I'm going to turn the light on now. I think we've lost the sun now. That might have been it. So feet hip distance apart, back into that lovely core engagement. And if you know your back's strong and happy, we can start with a little back bend, and then we come forward. So make sure your toes are pointing forwards and your feet are hip distance apart. Keep your core switched on. That's it. So we breathe out as we come forward with the legs straight and the back straight. And then as we come up, the knees bend and the spine curls. That's it. And then if you want to, you can add the hands. So I'll add the hands now if you want to add them. So they skim the back of the legs all the way down, and then they raise up the center of the body like that beautiful sun sequence as we come up. Breathing out, skim up the back of the legs into the lumbar, gentle back bend, tuck the neck in, tuck the chin in, keep the neck long, skim the back of the legs, up the center of the body. We'll just do 2 more, but when you've had enough, just stop. See if you can gently bring the neck into the movement too. And then the next time we come forward, we'll just stay in a forward bend. So if you know you're okay to bring your head right down with the crown to the floor, then you can do that. Or you can just stay up here if that's more comfortable for you. And we're just going to hold for a moment and do a little twist. So we're just going to twist first with the right hand coming up, and you can look up towards that right hand and then to the left. We'll do that one more time. So feel the side of the body just opening, and then to the other side, coming back down. Swivel your right foot 45 degrees and just walk your body over a little bit to the right and stretch the back of the right leg out. And then come back. And then swivel the left foot out, walk over a little bit towards the left, stretch out, back to center, refresh your core, feel that connection through the feet. And let's do a really slow and controlled uncurl with awareness. So imagining your spine like a string of pearls or a bicycle chain coming up gradually, slowly, working through the vertebrae, back into a wonderful mountain posture. And just standing again for a moment where we started. Being aware of your breath, imagining that golden thread again. Breathe in, lengthen, lift from the pelvis. Take that movement right up to the base of your skull. And then breathe out and use the breath to soften the body and let go. We'll just do 3 more breaths here. Wonderful. Well done, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you... Shush, shush, shush. Sorry, she's making all sorts of noises, this dog. So we're now going to do a nice restorative posture before we do our relaxation. We did actually start 5 minutes late, so I hope it's okay for you to finish 5 minutes late. If you need to go before, then that's fine. So grab a drink, have a minute. Right, Molly, stop it. Come on. Come on. Off you try. So what the posture we're going to do is called legs up the wall. So guess what we're going to do? Put the legs up the wall. So I think everybody's done this one before. I really like this one because it's really resting for the back, particularly if you tend to get a little bit tight in your lower back. And it's also really good for the heart and for relaxation. So you can do legs up the wall in 2 ways. You can do it against the wall, or if you prefer, A softer, gentler version is with a chair. So some people quite like to do that. So I'm just going to show you the chair. It can be nice just to have a little, just a slight raise in the pelvis, but that's up to you. So if you want to use a chair, you can lie down and then gently swivel your body round and just pop your legs like this. So for some people that's enough. And you've still got that really nice rest for the legs. You've got beautiful support, no compression in the lower back, but you've not got too much of an extension on the legs. Okay, so that's one. If you prefer to use a wall and you've got easy access to one, then either put your mat up against the wall, or if you know you're okay, to tilt the pelvis a little bit, which just creates a little bit more release in the lower back. Then ideally, to get in, the hardest thing is getting in and getting out. So we want to try and have your bottom quite close to the wall, maybe just only about an inch away. So if you sit quite close to the side, and then lie down, and then swivel the body round, which I know is easier said than done, which is why the chair's a great alternative if this doesn't feel good for you. And then you can have your legs right up. You could have your knees bent if you prefer. And then you can have your arms by your side or just resting on your belly. Okay, so I'll just come and have a look and see how everyone's doing. Don't worry if I can't totally see you, but if you need me and I can see anyone's struggling a bit to find a spot, then I'll give you a few tips. But you've all done it before, and I'm sure you know what's what. So this is really, really lovely for relaxing the body. It connects right through to your relaxation response. A lot of the nerves for the relaxation response are based in your sacrum, in the base of the spine. Okay, that looks fantastic. So just settle yourself, make sure you feel super, super comfortable. If you need to come out or you've had enough, at any time, of course, you know just to do that. But remember, if you do come out, then it's important that you come to the side and you don't yank your neck up, because it's really easy, especially after we've done all that, for you to just accidentally pull something in your neck, which I'm sure you know that anyway. So start to connect in with your breath. And see if you can deepen and lengthen the breath. So it can be nice in this posture because we've got quite a nice openness. Hopefully people can feel an openness into your lungs and your respiratory system to use the full capacity of your lungs to take the breath right down and push the diaphragm into your abdominals and use the deep abdominal breath. So the combination of your legs being up on the wall and using the deep abdominal breath is wonderfully relaxing for the body and the mind. So see if you can expand your abdomen as you breathe in, and then soften the belly and let go as you breathe out. And again, just doing a quick check, a quick scan of the body to make sure that you're not holding or tightening. So relax into the forehead, release the temples. Each time you breathe out, just allowing the jaw and the throat to soften. And just allowing your body to give way to gravity, letting go of any hold. Remembering to bend your knees or come out whenever you might need to, especially if you feel anything in your lower back. And if your breathing feels really comfortable and settled, you could extend your out breath. So you could maybe breathe in for 3 or 4, and then breathe out for 6 or 7 or 8. If you're experienced at yoga breathing, you could do a double count on the exhale, or maybe just add an extra 1 or 2 counts. So just doing 5 breaths. And then gradually, gently taking your time coming out of the posture over onto your side, and then getting yourself ready to relax. If you want to, you could stay in that position for relaxation. It's actually quite a nice position for relaxation. So just give yourself a wriggle and a stretch. Make sure your spine is nice and straight. So just check in right from the base up through the middle of the back into your neck, making sure there's no kinks and curves. Feeling warm, comfortable, and supported. Take a deep breath in, expand into the body, feel your belly raise, and then sigh the breath out, giving yourself permission to relax. And beginning with the awareness in your feet. Take all that amazing awareness down into the soles of your feet, right into the center of your feet. And then circle the ankle joints. First one way, then the other way. And curl the toes and then stretch the toes apart. Curl the toes and then stretch. And then finally just push your heels down towards the floor. Just push them into the floor. Feel that tension through the feet into the legs. And then breathe out and let go. Relax the feet, the ankles. And then engage in as many muscles as you can find in your legs. Working gently with the knees, just tighten the shins, calves, thighs, squeeze. And then breathe out and release those legs. Feeling that heaviness and that warmth working up through your legs. Becoming aware of your pelvis. Gently squeezing into the buttocks and the gluteals. Hold for a moment. And then breathe out and let go. Become aware of your lower spine. Gently push the small of your back into the floor. Engage your abdominals. And then breathe out and let go. Just do that one more time. Push the small of your back into the floor. Tilt the pelvis. And then breathe out and release. Becoming aware of your shoulders and your shoulder blades. And just gently draw the shoulders together a little, creating just a slight arch in the upper back. And then breathe out and release. Feeling the upper body just settle back, fully supported on the floor. Bring your awareness into the front of your body and use that powerful breath to expand the whole of the front of your body. Feel that sense of openness and space. Pause at the top of the breath and then sigh the breath out. Becoming aware of your hands and your arms. Opening your palms wide, spreading your fingers, taking the fingers down towards your feet and just lifting the arms slightly off the floor, contracting through the shoulders. And then with a soft, gentle out breath, allowing the arms to rest down by your side. To become aware of your neck and your head. Very slightly lifting the back of the head off the floor, just to lengthen the muscles and the vertebrae and the spine. Just a tiny movement, hold, and then release and let go. Taking the head from one side to the other, easing and soothing out the whole of the neck. And then come back to center and gently push the back of your head into the floor. Sending a ripple of tension down through the spine as you push. And then breathe out and release. Become aware of your face. Find all the muscles you can in your face. Clench the jaw, wriggle the nose, tighten around the mouth, squeeze into the eyes. And then breathe out and let go. Just let your awareness come back to your breath for a moment. Feeling that cool flow of the breath as you breathe in. And the warm outflow of the breath as you breathe out. And just visualizing your breath as a soothing, calming breath. Breathing in stillness and peace. Breathing out any tensions, any tightness. Breathing in stillness and calm. Breathing out tensions and tiredness. You might like to just gently affirm to yourself, I am deeply relaxed. I am still. I am calm. And then guiding your focus up to just above the crown of your head. And just visualizing a beautiful golden light, like the light from the sun. And just imagine breathing those warming rays of light into every single cell of your body. Each time you breathe in, drawing more and more of that healing, warming light into your body, filling and expanding your heart, a shower of golden light through the whole of your spine, filling all the joints, all the muscles, bathing your face, warming your legs, beautiful, nurturing, nourishing golden light. Breathing that light down through your legs, into your ankles, to the soles of your feet and the tips of your toes. Take a deep breath in. Breathe that sense of strength, stillness and light deep into your heart. Anchor it there with your breath. And then breathe out, soften the body, feeling that connection through the floor, feeling the warmth of your clothing on your skin, becoming aware of the sensations of coolness and warmth, hearing sounds. And then beginning to bring some movement back into the body. Stretching, moving, wriggling, however you'd like to move and your body wants to move. And while you do that, I'm just going to read you a little poem. Hold on, hold on, hold on, they said. You're a dandelion in the breeze. Look what the winds of change have done to all those autumn leaves. Hold on, hold on, hold on. This big wide world is not for you. Hold on for long enough for the last gust to dance on through. So I held on, and I held on. They said that's how you know you're strong. But not until I wilted did I notice that something was wrong. I thought that holding on was bravery, but when winds of change do blow, sometimes it's even braver still to let go, let go, let go. So I hope you've done some nice letting go. It's lovely to see you all as always. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a good Friday and a good weekend, good rest and a good sleep. We'll just rub those palms together and create some of that beautiful energy and warmth in between the palms. And you might just like to cup your face with your palms and give yourself the last minute of care and attention. Just taking a little bit of pressure to anywhere that might need it. Thank you for joining me. Lovely to see you. Namaste.